Hello everyone. Tune in. Tune in and let's get the ball rolling. Let's wait for a few minutes for everyone to join. Say hi in the chat, by the way. Say hi in the chat. Oops. Say hi in the chat. Hi, everyone. Hi. Tune in. Excited about today's event. Yes. Okay. So let's do the sound and picture check first, and then I will invite our guest today, and we will have a wonderful discussion today talking about employment trends that will shape our digital world in 2023. Hi. Okay, so sound and picture check is ready. Amazing. My name is Anna Gandrabura. I'm the founder of English for IT, the language school that helps tech professionals improve their English and communication skills to excel in their careers. And today, we are talking about employment. So today's webinar is going to be useful both for companies who are hiring new talent, as well as for candidates, for job seekers who are looking for the next big opportunity. And I'm super excited to have our guest speaker today, Lisa Arnold, who is the founder of A Players Recruiting. And of course, I will give Lisa an opportunity to introduce herself properly. But I'm very excited to have this expert guest and share her insight. We will have an opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to pick your brain today. Right. So everyone, welcome, Lesa. Lesa, I would like you to introduce a little bit more to tell more a little bit about yourself to our community, and we can start our discussion.
Hi everyone. Super excited to be here. Anna, thank you so much for inviting me. I remember our first meeting and all that strong energy in our discussion. Yay. Love what you guys are doing. So very interested to chat with you and provide some insights from our experience in hiring.
Absolutely, Lisa. Thank you so much. So, for you guys, Lisa is based in New York, as far as I know, right? Is that where you is that what you're calling from?
Yeah, I am originally from Ukraine, but I've been to the States for 7 years now, the last 2 years in New York.
Okay, wonderful. So, just like to give a little bit of a bigger picture here, let's say you work with the U.S. market, right? So you are here an expert from the point of like the U.S. market, the U.S. hiring market, employment market, right? So right away, everyone who's watching the webinar today, if you have questions about, employment in the United States, I would say that Lisa would be an expert here. What are any other areas of your expertise in recruiting, location wise?
Yeah, so US is definitely our main location as of now. So we started hiring in the Ukrainian market, and then we moved to the US market. We also added a little bit of Europe. So I would say it's probably like 60-70% US, and then the rest is Europe and Ukraine specifically.
Gotcha. So technically, you are an expert worldwide. You're the worldwide expert here. I love it. All right. So right away, everyone, if you have a question, feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We will address your questions during the webinar. Also, at the end of the webinar, we'll see. We decided to have it as a talk show, so it's more engaging for everyone here. So Lisa, I would like to. So your company is called A Players, right? And I think for a reason, and I would like to start off our conversation talking about who A players are, who B players are there C players, maybe D players? I don't know. You tell us. So could you please tell us a little bit more about A players, B players, and and how this is part of the name of your company?
Yeah, how it's part of the name is really funny because so I've been actually having like a very inner calling of hiring specifically the very top talent since I was 17, since I started my career in tech recruiting. But I just didn't know that it's called A Players. And then before I started my own company, I was head of talent and culture at a Silicon Valley based startup. And so we, like, as a team, we're like constantly talking about concept of A players, and I'm like, oh yeah, like this is the type of people I've been always really like wanting to hire, and like, you know, really focusing, just didn't know how it's called. And then when I started my own company, I really struggled how to call the company, and like I came up with many different names, but then I like, I don't like everything, but what I'm actually doing, I'm recruiting A players. Let it be so. I'm gonna call the company A Players Recruiting. So yeah, so the name of the company represents like the specific type of talent we are chasing, and the specific type of talent we're hiring for our clients. So A
So
Players.
A players is like the best technically. Is that what we is that how we can put it?
I mean, what is best, right? So it's like, you know, so the very important thought, not every company really needs A players, not every project, not every role really needs A players. That's why, like, I'm saying, like, you know, what is best, right? But the A players as a category is the type of talent that are the most productive, are the people who impact the results of the company the most, and also the most mission driven people. So on average,
That's a good
statistics,
point. I'm sorry to
on
interrupt.
average
That's a good
statistics,
point. Mission driven people. Yeah, mission driven people. For those of you guys who are seeking for new job opportunities, this is something that great companies look into, right? They want you to be mission driven, and they want your mission to align with their mission. Right away, I know, like, if you from my audience ask me questions, also like ask you actually, I to share, you know, how to excel in job interviews. So this is something I'm going to highlight, you know, some things that you say that are important and can be useful. Please, everyone, I hope you have your notebooks ready and pens, so write it down. Sorry, Lisa.
yeah, no worries. So yeah, so an like general description, an A player is a person who has 90% chance to be in top 10% of performers in the company. It's like an A player is usually 2-3 times more productive than a B player. And it's not about experience or even skills. It's about personal qualities that this person either has or does not. Yeah, and I'm happy to
Interesting.
go deeper into what are those qualities.
Yeah, we actually we will talk more about these qualities. I have a question about, you know, qualities that the companies are seeking for, right, in a candidate, and vice versa. You know, like the topic of our today's discussion is employment trends in 2023. This is a pretty intriguing topic, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people joined this stream to hear to hear about these trends. So why don't you tell us about the 2023 hiring market? So, what is the 2023 hiring market like these days?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's much more tough for employees, for talent now than it used to be even a year ago, because of the economic downturn. We all see how big companies lay thousands of people off. A lot of companies put hiring on freeze, and or like in the best case scenario, reduce their hiring capacities, reduce the amazing conditions that people in tech used to have even a
Yeah,
year
like
ago.
all these, like, you know, I have well, not some friends, my close associates from Microsoft, just like, you know, letting go like what, 17,000 people or 11,000 people, like 20,000 people. Amazon, yes, everyone, you know, big companies are shrinking their staff big time.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just big companies. It's just like those cases are the most loud and we see them because like it's the highest numbers. But it's actually, you know, a lot of companies, like even on the earlier stages, are still laying people off.
Yeah. So speaking about you know, the employee market in 2023, right? And in 20 and you said that 2023 is not an employee market anymore. Could you elaborate a little bit more on this? What does it mean?
Yeah. So in like by the end of 2021, it was really like an employee market. So a person,
What
like
does it mean,
even
an
not an
employee market? Let's just elaborate
yeah.
a little bit for our audience,
So
because you know we're I mean, this is your domain, so it's easy. But like for me, for example, I'm not sure if I'm 100% sure what the employee market is versus not an employee market is.
yeah, of course. So like meaning that employee was setting the rules, right? So
Yeah. Mhm.
an employee could really choose, right? Not even an A player, but a B player, a C player would usually have, like, if a person started looking for a job, they would usually have at least 2, 3 offers to choose from because there was such a big shortage of talent, because such a big competition, a lot of money just flown in tag. And yeah, so it was pretty easy. Now it's very, very different. So I would say that there are still people who have at least 2, 3 offers to choose from, but it's very, very limited percentage of those people who have that real choice.
So can we say that it's employer market now? The 2023 is an
Absolutely.
employer market as a company. Like for example, if I'm hiring as a company, I am king. Like as they say, content is king. But like here is employer is king. Like technically, you know, having all the leverage over employees. Is that what's happening?
Yes, absolutely. So now an employer is someone who has really good choice of great talent per role, right?
Yeah.
So it
Mhm.
another question is the more challenging hiring process to really find the best talent, right? Like because you just all of a sudden have so many pool of such a big pool of candidates, and you need to efficiently go through that. But in general, employers like companies who have the budget for hiring are in great position, and they can use it to their really, really best benefit.
This is very interesting. So I like how this conversation is unfolding, actually. So does it mean that now candidates, employees, right? Candidates have to work harder, have to prepare better for job interviews, have to like go out of their way, you know, when they're seeking, like, they're looking for a job and like going through interview stages. Like, so does it mean that 2023 is going to be more difficult for job seekers?
Yes, absolutely. But I would say just like, to to bring a little positivity to the
Yeah, silver
employee
lining.
side, uh, it's tough time, but it's tough for everyone. It's not just tough for employees. It's tough for companies as well, but not like to the direction of like being like hard to hire. It's much easier to hire, but it's very, very hard to fundraise, for example, right? It's very hard to stay alive as a business. So it is hard time, but it's really hard for everyone. It's just, in different areas.
Yeah, just to be also more positive here, you know, hard times, like we like every year is a hard year, you know, like it's hard because it's different, because we don't know what to expect, right? Things are changing. And I believe that the most important soft skill for everyone, not only professionals but just human beings in general, is to be able to adapt to a change faster. Yeah, like sooner than later. This is what I personally learned in my life. When you see that something is changing or you have to change something, the faster you embrace the change, yeah, that's what they say, embrace the change. You're like, okay, I have to change this. I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be like complaining. I'm gonna be crying over this. So the sooner you embrace the change, the more successful, the easier life gets. So technically, guys, don't worry that it's a little bit more difficult to find a job now because employers have a bigger choice of potential candidates. You just have to embrace this information, embrace the change. We are here to actually share insights on how to benefit. Yeah. And I actually, Lisa, I'm really happy that you can speak on behalf of both the employer and employees, right? Because I know the A players, your agency works with companies, helping companies to with staffing, as far as, well, correct me if I'm wrong, and also you work with candidates, A players, B players, different candidates, to help them find job in these companies. So speaking about this market change that we have just discussed, and we said that it's the employer market now. How can employers actually use this market change to their benefit? Like,
Yeah,
let's
your
have
question.
companies. I'm pretty sure some company. I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm pretty sure there are some, from our audience, some viewers who actually are looking to hire, not only looking for a job, right? So yeah. So how can they use this market change to their benefit?
Yeah, to your question, who are our clients? It is companies. So the people who pay us are the companies who we hire for. And we've hired for Wix, Grammarly, Mind Valley, Veriv, Unstoppable Domains, and lots of mission-driven startups. Early stage startups. So we do not take candidates as our clients, like to look for a job for them, but we bring the right candidate to the client. But we still build a community of A players candidates and offer them very filtered, very tailored opportunities. So how a company can use this time for their benefits? I mean, it is probably the best in history time, or probably in history, the past 20 years at least, time to hire the very, very best top talent now. Because so if a company has the slightest opportunity to be hiring, it's amazing to use that opportunity, because you were not able to really reach the same level of top talent, just a year ago. So how to use it? Hire, right? If you have at least a little bit of budget for that, start hiring, renew hiring. And then, so I would say that two important things to use this time, to adapt your processes, to optimize them. What we do at A Players now, how we adjusted our strategies, we put as many people, as many candidates on the top of the funnel, and bring them very fast, very efficiently through lots of filters, through all the filtering process to find the best match for the company. So first strategy is optimizing the hiring process to find from the largest pool the best candidate. And the second one is to know very well who is the best fit. To identify all the aspects important, culture fit, values fit, together with experience and hard skills.
So technically, this is now for companies, for employers, is the time of optimization, right? Is the time to optimize their processes so that they can attract the best pool of talent. And of course, if they have the budget for this, this is actually great. I think this market change can also help businesses to get more structured, because as a business owner, like you're a business owner as well, it's a lot of work when you need to optimize things inside of your company, especially related and connected to like team management. So yeah, founders, if you're watching this, it's a great time. It's a great time to change your chaotic way. I mean, of course, I'm saying this in a joking way, but like if you feel that you are doing things in a little bit chaotic way, this is a time to change this. Use this market change for your benefit, not only to hire the best talent, but also to optimize your hiring processes. This is great. I actually have another question regarding, let's now talk about this market change from a job seeker's perspective, right? And this is a question that a lot of people from my audience ask, ways to look for a job in 2023, right? So like, yeah, what are these ways to look for a job? And let's say if you can talk about, looking for a job outside of Ukraine, or I don't know, like let us not talk about you only outside of Ukraine, but whatever you are, you want to look for a job, let's say in the United States, in Europe, like, you're considering relocation opportunities. So we can like touch upon everything here. So what are these specific ways to look for a job in 2023?
Yeah, it definitely is location specific. Sure. So, first of all, I would say it's important to know the location and what are specifics in that location. So, I will generalize the US, even though you should look into specific locations in details. But I'll generalize it and say that US is probably one of the most challenging location in terms of to look for a job now. Like economic downturn hit the talent market in the US, one of the most not surprisingly, but like a lot of people wouldn't think that. And so it's very, very important to stand out now. Um, it's very important. It comes to personal relationship a lot. It comes to soft skills a lot. It comes to other things that were not that needed a year ago. So networking, meeting with people, asking people for referrals, that's probably one of the easiest ways to get an interview. It doesn't work for everyone, and some roles, like you don't need skills of like networking skills for some roles, but if your role requires those skills, go use them, go try in the job search. Like that is very helpful.
That is
Cold
very.
emails do not really work anymore this year.
Yeah, well, cold emails, yeah, it's hard to say that they ever work that well, but but like listening to you, I remembered Madonna's quote. I want to quote Madonna when she said that a lot of people are afraid to say what they want. That's why they don't get what they want. And this, like her words, really resonate with me. And just echoing what you said, yeah, just like talk to people, tell them what they need, tell them what you want, and you will get it. So, and I would say that a lot of like this is a really American mentality of doing things. Western Europe, Eastern Europe, like people don't really do this because we come from a different background, we come from a different culture, so it's not part of our culture to talk about our needs, our wants so openly, especially with strangers. However, if you are looking for a job at an American company, right, or international company based in the United States, be sure to adapt to their culture, yeah, and learn how to ask for things, learn how to say what you want, and you will get this. And yeah, like networking, like you said, personal connections, right? We're not talking about nepotism here, we're just talking about building real meaningful connections. And I want to say here that I am a community builder. I've been a community builder all my life pretty much, and now I'm based in Miami, and I'm also a community builder in Miami for people who are in Web3 or who want to break into Web3. And so what you can do, you can join communities that are beneficial for you, right? So like you want to find a job in Web3, join a Web3 community. You want to find a job as a like A player, join less as a community of A players, right? Or you're looking for a job as a, I don't know, graphic designer, find a community of graphic designers. So this is the best. And learn how to talk about your needs. Yeah, well, like your wants, your asks here. And that will be very helpful. So thank you for sharing this. This is very important. Yeah, and thank you guys for all your questions in the chat. We will address your questions, and thank you also for your thumbs up. Yeah, if you hear something that you really like, let us know in the chat. It's really important. It helps us, to see where we can bring value to you here. And I wanted to ask another question. Since we're talking about specific ways to look for a job, so what are like you said, that employers are looking for a person who is mission driven, who can align with their culture. What else are they looking for in a job seeker these days?
Yeah, so um, employers are looking for great soft skills much more than ever. Um, it doesn't mean that hard skills are no longer important. It just means that soft skills became more important on top of hard skills. Yeah, there are like a couple soft skills I would focus on developing now. First of all, um, problem solving. There are lots of problems more now, so like this skill is one of the top. uh Communication skills, um and another one that is like maybe not that obvious now, but I strongly recommend to develop it, is asking great questions. And this is actually another thing. Like, I know, Anna, you with your team help people develop soft skills. Like, I don't know
Oh
exactly the
yeah.
details, but I'm
Oh yeah.
very interested if you guys help
Oh
with
yeah.
questions.
Product placement is coming here, Lisa. Thank you very much. Yeah, I was like, you did perfect introduction to product placement. Yeah, we actually I created a course that is called English for IT Communication that actually covers all these soft skills that you have just listed. Primarily effective communication. That, like, effective communication is a broader subject, right? Which includes how to give feedback, how to receive feedback, how to present yourself, how to pitch yourself, right? How to hold meetings, how to be in meetings, how to deal with questions, how to deal with difficult questions. And I particularly like that you mentioned the question part. And this is what I keep telling our audience, who come to me to practice, to improve their English and effective communication skills. You have to like learn how to ask questions, because what really happens, even when you join the international company, you're afraid to ask questions in the group chat. This is what happens, and you are missing out a big time, because if you are not being like active team player, uh, people just think that you don't work. You never ask a question, you never share a comment in the chat. You're just there, the back seat, right? The back seat player, not the A player, but the back seat player. You're just there, and to your management, especially if this is an American management, I mean international company, they think that you don't work, and you actually do work, but you're just afraid to speak up, like, to ask questions. So yeah, guys, English for IT communication course. If you want to improve your communication, check it out on our website. And I'm pretty sure if you take a course and then you come to Lesa will have more confidence in your communication skills, right? And will be easier to talk to clients. It will be easier for you to talk to clients, definitely.
Yeah, I would say that, like, in terms of talent market, so a year ago, we at A Players were prioritizing candidates who ask great questions, and now we just filter out any candidate who does not ask great questions. It's such a big power, like, to master the skill of asking great questions, like, is really, really helpful. It can help you get the information you need to perform your task better, to stand out. Like, very recently, I went to an event, a great event with an amazing, very successful speaker, and I asked her a question that she and the audience liked so much that in the networking part, I had 5 people coming to meet me, just like as a person from the audience, not a speaker, but like the person from the audience, and saying, wow, I really liked your
I love
question,
this.
I want to meet you. And the speaker herself came to
What
me
did you
as well
ask?
because
What
of
did
the
you ask,
question.
Lisa? What
It
did
was
you
very
ask?
obvious.
I'm intrigued.
To me, it was very obvious question. So the event was about investment for women founders, and like during the event, like there was zero questions really in this regard about how to raise money for women, female founders. So I asked like the details on in that regard, and it was like, really obvious question, but yeah, so it's
Yeah.
helpful to see what's needed, like which question is needed at which point of time.
Well, okay, guys. So this is your opportunity here to practice your
Yeah.
skill of asking good questions. Please drop your question in the chat, and Lisa at the end of the webinar can pick the most interesting question. And I don't know. I don't think we have a prize, but maybe I will come up. English for IT will tell me what kind of prize we can give to the best question today, right? So please let's practice. Ask your questions in the chat. Don't be afraid. It's easier to ask questions in the chat than in person. I bet, like Lisa, your event was in person, so you were there like in front of like many people. You had to stand up and be there physically. So let's practice the art of asking interesting questions. You see, sometimes the question is obvious, but it is interesting because it is asked at the right moment here. I actually have another question about soft skills. So this is a question that one of English for IT students asked, and so you just talked about, you know, soft skills that employers that are important for employers. Yeah, how about soft skills that are important for recruiters? Yeah, because technically first thing you talk to a recruiter, yeah, so you can hear, you have to win over like, yeah, a recruiter, like you have to make them generate interest, yeah, make them like you, and like, you know, see if you're a good fit. So what, when the recruiters asks you about questions about soft skills, right, how do you address these questions, and what do
Um,
you have to pay attention to, you know, when like answering the question? Like the questions I'm talking about is, you know, these questions that situational questions, like tell me about the time when you had to deal with I don't know, difficult situation inside of your team, you know, like questions like these, they always, these questions, like, you know, when tell me about the time questions, they are always about you showing some soft skill, right? So how do you address these questions?
yeah, so being very, very specific and giving very concrete answer to that is the best thing you can do, right? Like, don't just list the very generic words, generic concepts, right? But give examples, explain what it means to you. Like, if you say, I'm a great communicator, explain what that means. Explain that, like, you can communicate a specific idea, you know, twice faster than most of the team members that you worked with, for example, right? Like, you know, try to really get attention to yourself by a very interesting way of presenting yourself. It has to be true, of course, right? Like, you cannot just make things up, but be very specific what that means, that you have a
So
specific
like
soft skill.
in other words, give examples, right? Give examples to prove it. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like, you know, when you say on your resume, for example, your skills, I'm responsible. Yeah, like, I mean, or I'm a good team player. Yeah, like it's great, but like how can you prove it? So give examples, right, for this. And another question from the audience that I received, because, you know, before our stream, I did ask the audience what they would like to ask the recruiter. So I picked the most interesting questions, and one of them is what recruiters actually pay attention to the most when you know, analyzing the candidate. Well, like, what is it, like hard skills, soft skills, what exactly, portfolio, experience? Is there anything in particular that right away, you know, this is important, if you don't
Mhm.
have this, I'm not gonna like consider you further?
Everything. So we do consider everything, just at different stage, different things at different stages. So when we do cold search, and when we reach out to people, we're looking for the best profiles out there. So if you want to be getting more offers, go work on your LinkedIn, make your LinkedIn more appealing. If you want to pass an interview well, learn, master the science of passing the interview, right? Like, so it's different things in different stages. And for example, like at the stage of looking at LinkedIn, I can't check how well the person presents themselves orally, right? I'm sorry. But if I'm interviewing a person already, I am expecting them to elaborate very well on the thoughts they're bringing and show great communication skills.
Yeah, so there's no easy answer. Everything, everything's important. Yeah, absolutely. That is why, I still, it's amazing, but I mean, amazing considering the fact that, people are, there's the people are, we live in like really global community now, right? So like people want to work for international companies, but there are still questions. I still get questions like, do I need LinkedIn? Do I need to have my LinkedIn for job search? And definitely, this is you do need your LinkedIn. You do need it professionally. Create it, yeah, profile everything. Everything's in English, of course, with a nice headshot and everything. Yeah, and the same, like you said, you have to be able to master. I mean, not have to be able. You have to master the art of passing job interview, like answering job interview questions, and yeah, asking questions also in the job interview. So yeah, I see actually our audience started dropping their questions in the chat. I'm excited, guys. I will leave 10-15 minutes at the end of our webinar to address your questions, so hold tight. We will answer your questions, of course. In the meantime, you still have time to share your questions here and practice the art of asking questions. This is your chance. This is the opportunity here. Another question. Let's talk about money. Because when speaking about looking for a job or hiring people, salary is, is an important topic here. And I don't know. I was a little bit surprised how many questions I get, because we just launched, actually, at English for IT. We just launched a job interview preparation course, and so technically, we've been like doing a lot of discussion with our audience about like job interview preparation, their difficulties and things like that. And I was really surprised that so many people ask questions about compensation and salaries, right? And a lot of people, we will talk about this too, a lot of people don't know how to talk about salary at a job interview, which was like really surprising for me, because I would say that no one expects you to work for free. So why would you be like worried or concerned about like asking about the salary range or things like that? But I guess this is something that people are not comfortable talking about, maybe just psychological reason or something. So yeah, so let's start off like let's start with talking about the salary market change, because 2023 employment market has changed and is changing. So the salary market, I would suppose, is changing as well, or has already changed. How is it? Like, what is it? Can we get more or less these days?
Yeah, so I would say that at best, companies are covering the inflation, that type of increase. That's at best, right? So most companies do not raise salaries now, which means that with the inflation, you actually get less, right? Again, tough economic situation. That's the reality. Very, very few companies actually go above the inflation percentage in their salary increase. So not really the normal part of the market, right? Very small percent. Yeah, in terms of like how to talk about it, about money, like during the job interview. So general rule in the negotiation. So the person who says the numbers first is in slightly, like in a way, like with certain conditions, and I'll get into that, is in better position, because the negotiation goes from that number, right? But it's very important to know the situation, to know the market, to know the specific company, to know the range for this specific role, at least generally. Because if you say the number that is very, very far, much higher from what the company intend for this role, you will most likely just be rejected after that. Because like if the company sees too big of a gap with what they can and what you want, they will not even go into negotiation. But if you say just a little higher from what they can, you would get yourself in really good position because you would get like as close to what you want as possible.
So technically, if I ask you the question, who should speak first about compensation? The company, like the recruiter, or the company, or the candidate?
I mean, should is a subjective thing, right? Like
Yeah.
so, to your if you are an employee, to your benefit is to speak first, but knowing the range of this company and asking for a little bit above.
So do your
Uh,
research, do your research, do your homework.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
That is very good. But also, again, as a company founder, as a person who's like, been in this for many years, I can also say, and I think that now, since the times are really hard, yeah, and companies are not willing, well, then it's not like they're not willing to increase like their salary range. They can't do it, right? Because the market is really tough. It's really important also to ask for a certain range based on particular reasons, because like you have to also, like, candidates and well, generally employees, they have to be able to evaluate their strength, right? And if you're asking for a certain range, you have to back it up. You have to give examples like, hey, I have this and this and this, that's why I want this and this. Because a lot of times, just like doing research, um, and reading what other people get, it doesn't mean you can get it. Because like if other people get it, yeah, that's what the market is willing to pay. However, do you have the skill to qualify for this particular salary range, I would say. So that's like, you really have to do like a 360 research here, right? You
Yeah,
research the market, you research your employer, you also have to be like as objective as possible about your skills, right? And also, like, I would say that your confidence level as well, right? Like how
yeah,
confident you are in your skills. And I'm not talking about that people are overly confident. Sometimes people are not confident, but they're great, So like here, it's really important to develop yourself as a professional, to develop your soft skills, right? To develop your personal skills so that you can be objective about all these things, yourself, the company, the job, the description and everything. That's what I think.
yeah. And I would add also that the reasoning approach that you mentioned is really a good idea to apply in any part of job interview or in general, even in life, right? Like, so because of this, because of
Yes.
this. So
Yeah.
I can do this job because I had experience with this and this. I have these and these skills. That's why I can do this job, right? I want this much money because I have these achievements, because I've been getting this much money in my previous job, because the market pays this much for this role, right? Like, so having that reasoning mindset is an amazing thing to show to an interviewer.
This is very valuable, Lisa. Thanks for highlighting this. And this is actually kind of answers one of the questions that I had for you regarding the right way to ask to increase your compensation, right? So technically, we just answered the question. The right way to ask is to be objective about what you can do, how well you can do, and how you can prove that this is what the company needs or the company needed. So technically, guys, your task when you're preparing for a salary negotiation, whether it's your new job or an existing job, your job is to make a list of your achievements. Make a list of
Mhm.
your previous achievements with examples. And like every time you make an example of what of your achievement, answer the question why. Why is this important? Because I can say like, okay, I am I can design things in Sketch, for example, and I'm applying for a CEO position. But like, is this really relevant to negotiate a higher salary for the CEO position, right? I mean, that's a great skill to have, but like, this is not going to be my primary skill to boast if I'm like applying for this C-level position here, right? So yeah, so this is important. And what I feel that a lot of people disregard, like what a lot of people not pay attention to, is preparation. Yeah, so preparation, that's why, that's why I launched this job interview preparation course, because I feel like a lot of times, and I did ask the audience, like, what was the biggest mistake that you've made when in a job interview? And like quite a few people said, oh, I did not prepare, I went not prepared, I didn't prepare questions, I didn't check my CV and things like that. Like your preparation also shows your organization skill. Like the way you prepare for things also show your soft skills. So that's another recommendation, to practice soft skills and personal development. Amazing, awesome. We have quite a few questions. I really want us to address all the questions from our audience, Lisa. So what do you think about moving to answering our audience questions?
Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let's do it. Okay, so I'll start from the first one from Ihor. Hi, Igor. Great to see you again. Igor was one of the very first students who took our flagship courses, English for Tech. I remember
Nice.
Igor. If I'm not mistaken, Igor. Hi there. So Igor asks you, Lisa, how expertise in MBTI assessment might benefit recruitment agency? I mean, how recruitment agency might sell it to the US clients? If you can, I mean, I'm not particularly aware what MBTI assessment is. So if you can, tell us a little bit more
Yeah.
about this, it'd be great.
So I see here two questions. I'll try to answer both. So MBTI is a personality test, 16 personalities. So based on this assessment, there are 16 types of personalities, and it's a really, really good assessment. My favorite in terms among all the personality tests. I'm a big believer in it. I use it very often. Our team uses it very often. It's really helpful. I would say that MBTI is an instrument, so I do not really see how using MBTI really sets you up like for success in terms of like on the market, like just that one thing, right? It's just like saying that, well, like I really mastered the skill of using I don't know, Google Calendar, right? Like so it's a specific tool that is very helpful to have, but it's not like the whole skill of a recruiter, right? But yeah, like I use it. I would recommend everyone who hasn't passed this personality test to go
Can
and
you link?
test yourself.
Can I ask you to share the
Absolutely.
link? Yeah, I will drop
Sure.
the link under the video after the stream. So when we're done. So if you guys are interested to take a personality test and learn more about yourself, this is always interesting. I love these tests as well. Okay, so like how can it help to sell to US clients? What do you think with this? Like, for example, as far as I understand, so the way I understood the question is. Um, you have your candidates or your team, I don't know, take the test and then you can present it to a US client, and will it be beneficial for the team to get hired by the US client if they know more about your personality or your team's personalities?
So what we do, we tell our clients that we do use this instrument and we use the results of it, and we support our feedback on the candidate with the results of this interest. Like I do not see the way that like just the fact that we use this test would get us a client, but it's a great addition, right? Like so the client sees that we're not just like sending them resumes every day, hundreds or something, but we actually go deeper into candidate assessment.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Igor. I hope we answered your question. Moving on to the next question from Nadia. Will companies enforce returning to office more?
I mean, I see the slightest trend in that, but I don't believe we'll ever get to pre-COVID situation in that regard. It will probably continue a little bit more than it is now, but I don't think really that it will be that different.
So what I know again from my friends and close associates here in the United States, most companies require them to be in the office 3 days a week. Yeah, but like I don't know if that's mandatory 3 days, but so one of my friends work at Datadog. It's a big tech company in New York, and what Datadog does on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Wednesday and Friday, they have food delivery in the office, and everyone comes to work from the office because they have free food, free
Yeah,
lunch, right? So like perks like this, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
hybrid is really good way to handle it.
Yeah, food, like everyone loves food. Okay, Hannah has a question. What is the best advice you can give to a junior developer in such
In such a
situation? I mean,
situation,
like in such a
in which
situation, I
specific?
mean, specific being a junior developer. Like if you are a junior developer, I don't know, maybe Hannah was like talking about when we were talking about compensation. How do you talk about compensation if you're a junior developer? And I don't know. I feel like that was the time
Yeah,
when she asked the question. So let's answer the question from the salary negotiation.
I would love to answer that question, but to me it sounds a little bit too generic. If Hannah could please specify what specifically, I just want to,
Mhm.
give
Yeah, yeah.
the
Hannah,
needed information. Not
if you're watching, please specify and we will answer the question. Now let's go to the next question from Anna. How could I express that I have these soft skills before job interview, not just mentioning them in CV? Yeah, so like talking about soft skills in general. Mhm.
This is a great question. So, why not mentioning, right? Like, so mention them in CV in more specific way. Show that in your online presence. Uh, if you're into it, write posts, take stories, take reels, like show yourself. And definitely show those amazing soft skills during the offline communication. If you are attending events, it's very easy to show those soft skills. It's really easy to get connected to the people you need to get an interview. So yeah, so showing those skills in practice is
This
huge.
is very good point, Lisa. So technically, guys, again, take into account the power of building your personal brand. And when I talk about building your personal brand, I'm not talking about you becoming a blogger like me. Just kidding. No, I'm talking about building your professional personal brand. Like you said, your LinkedIn profile has to be all prepared. It doesn't mean that you have to blog there, but if you have one or two posts or reshare somebody else's post or article that resonates with your beliefs, with what you think, this will definitely open up your personality to people who don't know you. And this is how you show your soft skills. And another, I
Yeah,
think,
and ChatGPT made it so much easier
oh my
now,
God,
like to
yes,
post.
yes,
Just,
yeah. Just make sure you don't post long reads because I feel like every time I use ChatGPT, it's like, oh my God, it gives me like such long text. Yeah. So it's really easy. Yeah. And also like even if you use ChatGPT, you're already showing your soft skill because you're showing that you are curious, right? You are intrigued by new tech and things like that. And yeah, and also
Mhm.
like you said, I again want to highlight what you just said regarding communication. When you already communicating with recruiter, this is your chance to show your soft skill. You want to show that you're good with time management, be on time. You want to show that you're good with time management, respond to their messages promptly, right? You want to show that you are an effective communicator, answer questions in a way that where you don't use like one word as an answer. Instead, you use like several sentences as an answer. All right,
By
let's
the
move to.
way, Anna, I want to add, like, I just got a really good idea how you can show your soft skills and to stand out. A lot of employers are looking for innovators, for people who stay on top of things, for people who stay on top of technologies and other stuff. ChatGPT is definitely really, taking off technology. So add to your, if you've been using ChatGPT already, if you haven't, go use it. If you have been using it, put it into your resume, and show how it is related to your role. Show how you can use ChatGPT to your benefit
I
to
love
really
this.
succeed in your role.
I love this. I love this. Oh my God, I love this. Yeah, like the other day, I actually left the same comment. Somebody says that, oh, soon founders are going to, I mean, companies are going to fire people when they learn that they use ChatGPT for their work. I was like, I would actually appreciate people to do this if they show me that it helped them to optimize their task, and now they have more time for doing creative tasks. Because what I personally value and what I value in people who I work with is when they can optimize their mundane routine tasks and have more time for creative thinking and for strategic thinking. Any job, it can be any job, and this is what I personally like to do. That's why, I don't like doing mundane things. That's a great example, Lisa. Thank you. That's great advice, guys. If you follow this advice, please let me know, share in the community so that I can pass along it to Lisa later. All right, moving on. Elena asks you to give any life hacks how to pass a telephone interview and be invited to a face-to-face interview or online interview.
Again, this question sounds a little bit too generic to me. So I could do another 1 hour
Webinar,
webinar
yeah,
on
that's
this
another
topic.
webinar. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you have a specific case
Yeah.
that you haven't passed the telephone interview, very happy to say what you could have done better in that regard, but it's just like too
I
wide
love
topic.
this. I love this. So, since we're practicing the art of asking questions here, this is a good recommendation. When asking a question, make sure it's not too generic. Generic means very like wide, like broad, like about everything, like very general. Yeah, generic, like general, like there are so many things you can say. Instead, when asking a question, make sure you ask a question about a particular case, a particular example, or include a particular example to your generic question. Elena, if you're here, you can rewrite your question and see, and Alyssa will be able to answer it more precisely. Olga wants to find out. Olga wants to know how to find out the range of salaries while they are hidden.
Yeah, so it's a little bit tough to find range of salaries. So the best you can do is to try to find the salary in specific company for specific role. In order to do that, try to talk to people from this company who can give you a general understanding of what the salaries in this company
Because
is.
usually it's the NDA, so people don't talk about salaries precisely, but you can get like a general idea.
Yeah, if you cannot connect with anyone from this company or get this information from them, do more like wide research, right? Like, so go to Glassdoor, Google, read reviews. So some recruiting companies do these market salary overviews. So try to get at least more or less general idea of that. But the best thing, of course, to do is to talk to people from specific company or people who left that company. So people who are working in this company, like not guaranteed like to share this information with you, but people who used to work in this company and no longer working with this company, maybe they still have like NDA, like general idea, but they will give you, at least better general understanding.
That's a good point, Lisa. Do you mind after the stream? Do you mind sharing with me the links to this website, like Glassdoor and other websites where you can find salary ranges from like different companies? I will drop this links under the video in the description to this video, so guys, you will be able to find these useful resources. Speaking of resources, Igor has another question about resources. Lisa, could you recommend the best English-speaking bloggers about recruitment, sales? To watch on YouTube or elsewhere?
Not really. Sorry.
Do you have a YouTube channel, Lisa?
I probably should, but I don't.
Oh my God, that's I think you should, because this question. Igor just prompted a good next steps for for your personal for building your personal brand. Well, if nothing, if you can't like think of anyone off the top of your head, maybe like if you can share later. Again, I'll drop the links in the comments. In the description to this video. Okay, a few more questions and we will wrapping up. Guys, I love it. Lisa, well, this is amazing that you triggered, so many questions, so many great questions. I love this. So Suksu is asking, what are the main recruiters' pain points these days?
Okay, one of the main points is time, and this is actually unfortunately I'll have to be ramping it up because I have a
Yes.
meeting right after our stream. So now it's just like everyone has to hustle more. Recruiters have to hustle more for anything. So this is the pain point, and of course, optimizing, like what I mentioned in the beginning, optimizing the hiring process to because there are more people available, but how to get the best ones, how to pass them through the hiring process.
Absolutely. Well, we're not gonna hold you any longer. Thank you very much, Lisa, for this wonderful conversation. I will follow up with you so that we can pick the best question, and I will announce it in our community, in our English for IT Telegram community. I will finish this. I will wrap it up for you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and helping the community to get better. Thank you for all the recommendations, and you're a great motivation for everyone. Like, I have never gotten so many questions during the webinar. Thank you so much. And please.
Thank you, Anna, and thanks everyone for amazing questions. Yeah, it's been fun and wonderful to be with you guys.
Thanks. Please come again.
Absolutely.
Bye. Have a wonderful day. Bye. Alrighty, guys. Well, I'm still here. I don't have a meeting right after this webinar. That is why a few items to before we wrap up. First of all, I would like to thank everyone for being here. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I hope you learned a lot. I personally learned a lot, and I didn't know how the talk show will come out because you don't have a presentation, you don't like plan everything so step by step, but it turned out to be both motivational, educational, and even we had fun, I suppose, right? Thank you everyone for your questions. They are amazing. What I have in mind, I'm going to follow up with Lesa, and we will pick the best question, and we will give a discount on one of our products, English for IT courses. You can pick. I know that a lot of you are already taking the courses or have taken courses in the past, so you can pick the product that you like. Also, at the same time, we had amazing questions today, and we got amazing answers today. My plan is to summarize it and also share it with the community. So make sure you give a follow. Make sure if you're not part of my Telegram channel, that's my Telegram channel at ENG4IT, at ENG4IT. Join Telegram channel. I will share all the information about the winner of the best question and about summary of the best questions and answers to them in the Telegram channel. In the meantime, thank you very much for being active. Thank you very much for practicing the art of asking questions. It warms my heart that you really followed the lead and practiced together with our expert speaker. If you have any questions to me or Lesa, feel free to ask them. Feel free to reach out. You know where to find me. Reach out via Telegram or any other social media resource of your choice. Thanks again, and till the next time. Bye for now.